and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello, happy Saturday. How's it going? I almost clicked end stream when I was toggling between the last image you were watching, the like, this is what we're gonna do. Because I made my interface really small, so. Look at you, all of you, so excited you made it here. Has it been hard? Have you guys been busy? Welcome, welcome. Hi, Ann. Hi, Amy. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Jeanette. Barbara. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Sydney. Woo, a stream. My glasses are really dirty. All right. This is our last fleece pullover this month. I will be making more things out of the fleece I have, though, because we have so much. Right? So, hi, Aisha. Hi, Margaret. Hey, Sue. Hey, Monica. How's it going? I promise I'll bring the brightness down a little bit too. Let's just do that now. We are going to do this whole thing today, but I'm going to try and sew this in a little, simpler fashion than the men's, although I do feel a little bit like that's not fair to the woman that gets this, if a woman gets this. Hi, Debbie. How's it going? There's so many people that are just like, I made it. Oh my gosh, I made it. You guys are so funny. So I think I'm just going to, for the most part, go by the instructions in this pattern. This is the Wardrobe by Me half zip sweater, and it comes in a few different views. Hey, Shem. So, and I'm pretty sure I recorded the video for this, and it's always, her videos are always linked. Like when you buy the pattern, there's like a link to it. But there's definitely a video even if I didn't do it. And I don't talk in the video. When I record videos for her, it's just, you just see my hands. You'll just recognize my hands and my machine and whatever yard thing I've gotten into, poison oak. I got a little poison oak right there right now. We've been taking out trees. It's always fun at my house. So, oh, nice, Debbie. Yeah, that one, we spent a lot of time on the neck area here. And admittedly, I was live streaming, so maybe it could have been, a little faster, but, and then it came together really fast, right? So, oh, okay, Amy, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got kind of confused because I made one for her, and then she asked me to make another one, but it was the women's or something. And I was kind of confused. I was like, wait, didn't I do that already? And then she was like, yeah, but you did a little different. And then she was like, actually, I can use that. So I just got confused, like which one it was and stuff like that. I'll be doing another video for her this fall that comes out, I think by the end of the year for the pattern. So I got some fabric for that. I have a few video gigs. Oh, guess what, you guys? All of my classes got accepted at Sew Expo. I don't know what that means. I'm nervous. Like, there was one I was kind of like, you don't have to take that one. So, And I set my class size, and so I need to go back and look at that. I'm nervous. I am nervous about that now. Especially because, like, I hope that you know well in advance how many people have signed up. I imagine people can sign up if it's not full. Because I don't think they'll, I mean, I don't know would they full or not, but would they fill or not? Because I have a lot of prep to do for those. My classes, one of them is garment sewing related, and the rest are bag making. So there's 4. Hey, Terry, how's it going? So one is making a notions case with me, and you're going to get materials to make 3. You can make all 3 in the class, or just take your others with you. That's a 2.5-hour class. One is for, I think, the double, or it's the zip double. I'm kind of hoping it's the zip double now because that pattern's all ready to go. But if it's the double, it's an unreleased pattern that I get asked for a lot, and that's a chicken boots design. So it's got a vinyl bottom bag and then a cloth upper and an interior pocket. That one will be fun. Yes, they paid to take a class, Shem. Not everything I do is for free. Thanks, Terry. Yeah. Thanks, Suzanne. And then the class that I'm a little nervous about is sewing the project bag with me. And that's a big class. That's a 4.5-hour long class. And I don't know, I hope I limited that to like 20 people. I don't know, though, we'll see. That one's heavy duty sewing. So I'm just nervous because I don't know what machines they have and what machines we'll have to work, and you know what the with the experiences of people. I'm scared. Okay, and then the garment related class is seam finishes. We're gonna do 4 seam finishes. They're oh no, I don't think that's like that in any of those types of things, Shem. Because even like Stitches West, when I did that show, you can go, when you pay, you're really basically paying to shop when you do those things. You pay to go to, you get access to the vendor floor. And there are free demos and things like that, and like shorter little seminars that you can pay for that are cheaper. So yeah, it's so like I imagine like the free demos in the vendor area to be like, you know, when you go to the fairgrounds and someone's like cooking something up in a frying pan. That kind of thing, like, hey, let me show you this cool gadget, you know, let's talk about the seam ripper today. And someone from Clover is there talking about their like 4 gadgets, right? Or something like that. Or maybe it's a demo on something like, say I wanted to demonstrate my fitting series. Like, these are some of the things you can learn in my fitting series, and then I'm selling my PDF. I feel like, I don't know, I've never been, but that's what I imagine, those free little seminars. So then you can kind of go, you can dip your toe and go, okay, this does sound kind of cool. Or yeah, I have wanted to see how that gadget works, you know? So I don't know. I've never been. But, and then there's different class size, like time commitment wise. Yeah, exactly, Terry. Yeah, that kind of annoyed me at Stitches West because I just felt like literally people are paying to shop. And I understand like that's kind of what it takes to rent out a space like that because it was at the convention center. But you know, they had to pay for parking. It's not like you can walk from your house there because it was next to like a sports stadium, you know. So it's definitely, you know, there was a whole contingent of people that I knew. I didn't live in this area at the time, but I knew that they took the train from Sacramento and then it dropped them off right at the door. So that was kind of cool. This is in Washington State. Oh, my hair is clipped to this thing. So anyway, thanks for all the good thoughts, and all my classes were accepted. I still see they're looking for teachers though, so that makes me nervous too. Hello, is that going for you? Oh, that's nice, Terry, that the parking was free there. Maybe the parking was free at this place. I actually don't know. It was free for me, so it probably was free. Yeah, exactly, Heidi. I know. Oh, thank you. Oh, Anne, are you the expert? You're the expert. Parking is free. There's a daily fee. There's a daily fee, but parking is free. Okay. Salute. Hello, Anna. So yeah, Anna got all my classes, so that's good. We'll see. people want to do some bag making. My bag making style is really different, so maybe that'll be interesting to somebody. Hopefully a few somebodies. I want to pick out really good kits, so I'm gonna get fabric from Hearts and pick out some cute fabrics to pick from. It'll be like a buffet when you come into my class. You can go, oh, I want this front and this back, this front and this back, and this front and this back. And there'll be extras. All right, like I said, we're going to, wonder if you get any, oh, I'm sure you would, Jem. I'm sure you would. Have you done much classes in person with people? It's such a different experience when you get to do what you are doing in front of people that can help you hands-on and look at what you're doing, because you might go, oh, this is an easier way to do this or whatever, you know. I'm going because you'll be there. Oh, thanks, Anne. I feel like, you've gone a lot, right? Yeah. Oh, stop itching that. That is poison oak. It'll be interesting to see the class lineup. You get to try machines too, which is neat. It'd be weird going by yourself. You think? I'll be there. You want to be my assistant? Sydney, are you going to come? Yeah, exactly. Anne's been there 30 years. Anne's still going. She's been there going for 30 years, Shem. I'm sure there's something. See, Sydney? And we'll go with you, Shem. My gosh, I might get to see some of you. This is at the end of February, the last weekend of February going into March, just so you guys know. Oh, yeah, there you go. Last weekend of February going into March next year. Put it on your calendar. I think my project bag class it starts the day before the whole thing. So I'm sorry, I don't know a whole lot. I think it goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but no, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Wednesday, it will be that project bag class. And then my other classes I don't know when they'll be. I don't know anything about them. So I thought the same when I got to the scrapbook expo. Yeah, you get to be around people who love what you love. You know what I mean? And everyone's probably like, that's all they want to talk about. Getting classes is tricky. Oh. Is it like a computer thing, you know? A guild community there, yeah. I don't know what days I'm teaching classes. Here, I'm going to give you top tier advice for anyone going to one of these kinds of events, any kind of event. This is top tier advice, and someone tell me if I'm wrong. If you don't like crowds, if you don't like bustle, if you really want to feel relaxed when you go to something like this, go on Sunday. Nobody is there on any event I have ever done. Nobody is there on a Sunday. I would make like $8,000 on Friday and $600 on Sunday. So Sunday is the way to go. You have the booth to yourself when you walk into people's booths. Yes, you might not see everything. They may be sold out of things, but you won't know. You will not know what you missed. And you will like what you see. Maybe you would have liked something better, but you will never know. You're gonna love, if you love something, you love it. You'll get it. You don't get it, you don't get it, right? So Sunday is the way to go. And plus the vendors are all relaxed. They're thrilled you're there, and you get amazing customer service because they are so thrilled to see someone actually there on a Sunday. I'm telling you, Sunday is the way to go. I think people just they go on Friday, Saturday, and then they travel on Sunday because they have to be back by Monday. So if you don't have to be back by Sunday night, that's my advice. Because for me, I would never go to something like this because I do not like crowds like this. I do not like scarcity, like that FOMO kind of vibe. Like, you gotta get there first. I don't like that. It totally puts me off. So, and I will be standing at the quality sewing booth, I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know. You'll never know, right, Monica? I mean, you never, because I feel like this is what I do. Like, when I go to a store that I really love, but it's really, really expensive or something, and I just like, someday I'll get something, I go to their sale thing. And I look and it's like, yeah, maybe the giraffe wouldn't have been my first pick, but it's so adorable. Maybe I would have been more into the sloth if I had known there was a sloth, but I don't know that there was a sloth, and the giraffe's perfect, right? So yeah, that's what I would think, Anne. Exactly. Oh, that's cool. I hope so too. Yeah, and on Sunday you might see sales. It was always forbidden in the events I did, is events on sales on the, is that what it was that was forbidden? Sales? What's the rule? I can't remember. There was always some sort of rule that you weren't allowed to do. I can't remember. But a lot of places are really wanting to not carry their product home on a Sunday. Yes, exactly, Monica, right? You can, yeah, you can fabric shop. It's going to be like if a ton of sewing stores were in one building. But like Clover will probably have a booth, and, you know, all the sewing machine places and stuff like that. Hi, Diane. I got all my classes, Diane, so we were just talking about Sew Expo. So anyway, I hope to see some of you there. We'll talk about it again once I know more, and, you know, this is exploratory. Right? This is exploratory. I'm going to learn what it's like, and I will try and keep you guys updated. But we have months. I'm already freaking out. Who? Me? Of course. I'm already freaking out. So, but I have to tell you guys, as soon as I saw that I got accepted, as much as I was freaked out, I love preparing stuff. Like, I can't wait to make the handout. I can't wait to put the kits together. I can't wait to do that. I love doing that stuff. I had to tell myself, Saremy, you just learned this at 7 o'clock at night. And we went to like this burger event at the Elks Lodge up here. I'm not an Elks member. In fact, I have a funny story about that. And when I learned that, and then I was like ready to start, because I was already like, oh my gosh, I got to do backwards countdown, you know, like, okay, February, I got to do this by this. I was like, Saremy. Finish the fit thing right now. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. All expos have is the vendor section, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great advice, Anne. Sign up for their newsletter. Let's find a link for Sew Expo. Where's my keyboard? Oops, sorry. Okay, here is a link to the, hi Christina, how's it going? Here's a link to it. Sign up for their newsletter. Yeah, because you want to know what classes are, because when these kinds of things, like say that you take the class with Angela Wolf, right? Because she'll be there, right? Probably, I don't know. But you know, like if you guys have a sewing celebrity that you really want to meet or take a class from, you should get into that class as soon as you can. Be ready. So, and you know, if there's any way to pre-register on the site, like putting in a credit card, I always recommend doing stuff like that, like Etsy, because you'll lose out. Hi, Rachel. We all do, Shem. We all do. Okay, so my silly funny story is that last night I told my husband, I was like, hey, that cool cafe that we love, like there's this cafe up here that makes amazing food, like top tier city quality food. And you never know what they're gonna have. They have like cheese of the day, you know, like, so they can have a really nice cheese. They have a cheese of the day, and then when that's like gone, they get a new cheese, right? So they were hosting an event at the Elks Lodge of all places, and it was a burger night, and there was like 4 fancy burgers on the menu. I got a peanut butter and jelly burger. It was so good. It had pepper, jelly, but peanut butter I could barely tell. It had a smoky bacon and some cheese on it, right? And then they had fries, and then they had this amazing like cobbler thing. But this is my husband. He met me here at my office, and he drove me there. We pull up to the back of it. I was like, this is the Mason's Lodge. He was like, oh, you're right. Okay. So he drives to the next one, pulls in. I'm like, this is the Vet's Hall. He's like, Wait, okay. How are there so many of these places? Like everything burned down. How are there all 3 of these places still existing? We look at Elk Lodge. Oh, it's on Elk Lane. Where's Elk Lane, you know? And so we finally got there, but it was just so funny that we did this little tour of these places we've never been. It was really funny, so. That's so smart, Shem. A lot of people do that. You bought 4 skins of lamb skin leather for $45 because the vendor did not want to take home. Yeah, see, exactly. They don't want to carry it. They don't want to deal with inventory. So, yeah, me too, Aisha. I have to go with a goal. I usually go, like when I would go to yarn events, I'd be like, I'm going to buy 1 sweater's worth of yarn and maybe a book. You know, like something like that. Like Shem, that's another thing, like books. You could look at books and things like that, which would be really cool, you know, like so it's kind of hard to buy books online. Hi Julie, how's it going? All right, yeah, you can do that, Shem. You can justify anything, exactly. Yeah, just bring cash. Okay, we're gonna start at the ironing board. We're going to start the ironing board, as I'm going to roughly follow the way she has this in the directions. If everything about going to expos, most have been to a fiber that was getting stuff that is not a, yeah, I mean, okay, so if you're kind of the same vein as like what Sydney said, Sunday's not the day. You're going to want to go Thursday and go to your favorite places, you know. I usually allow myself 500 to 1,000, but less last year. Not very many vendors, and of course, I've bought enough over the year. Yeah, probably more available at Fiber Fest because the farmers are there with their animals. Oh, some of them, but not Stitches. I used to do the Vogue event and Madrona, both in Tacoma. I grab all the business cards or whatever today's digital. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do too, Anna. And I write on the back what it was I grabbed it for. Slip stitching part of the front crotch on these trousers. Got something sticking on my fingers, but it's helping. That's hilarious. Yeah, no animals at the expo. Okay. Okay. Oops, I just dropped that little thing. All right, so the one thing I just did before I went live was I created the mirror image of this front right here for this placket, just as to give you an example of like, because if you want to make sure your placket is centered, your zipper placket, it's baby blue. Yeah, it's very light. It's like an ice blue. That's what I would call it, ice blue. Okay, so then, and you need to give yourself some like edges. You don't have to do the whole thing, but you need something, right? Because you want to make sure you get it centered. What am I doing actually right now? Am I going to draw a line right now? What am I doing? I'm just going to pin this down. The gap's really not that big, so let's get this. The gap is, I cut like the fold line right there. I just cut the ink of the fold line. That's all I did. So it should only be the width of that, you know. Holy smoke, I was presuming the photos from last year's expo. Vogue Fabrics brought a lot of fabric. The last few years there's more quilting than sewing, which disappoints me. I'm not a quilter. You know, that's interesting. That's what I was thinking too, Anne. The gal that reached out to me and encouraged me to apply, she really feels like garment sewing is coming back really strong. So I was kind of curious like why she thought that. I'm getting a marker over here. So maybe there's some hope for more garment specific stuff. I normally just wouldn't do this. I would just cut it. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I don't trust markings after a while, you know what I mean? Let's just see how this looks. Yeah, we can see that. Okay. We can see that. I just want to see if I got down to the bottom. Okay. But you know what? I was thinking about interfacing this. So I got this interfacing here. I'm winging it. If we go, we encourage the garment side. Yeah, exactly. She's a sewing machine retailer. Maybe it's based on what her customers are asking for and machine features. That's true, Amy. Right? What if we did... You know what we'll do? We're just going to put a line of pins here. You're not really encouraged to fuse onto this polar fleece, but if I do it really lightly and I only do it on the interfacing itself, that is where I'm going to be sewing. So I feel pretty good about that. You know what I mean? Like this way, this will be all in the seam. Now she recommends a 2-inch wide piece. I'm only doing a 1-inch wide piece. So I'm just gonna, I put this on my salami because I want it to, I don't want to touch the other sides. I have a mini iron. Should get it out, huh? I'm gonna stop steaming. Okay. Hey, why don't we all get together for fun? Yes! That would be really fun. I would love that. I would love that. I'm a little toast after shows, like in the evening, but we'll figure something out. Like I am literally like in the evening, I'm one of the people that just goes back to their room because I'm so I'm so exhausted. But I really want to meet up with you guys, and we could maybe meet up a few times, you know, during the day especially, and then maybe go for like a lunch or dinner, whatever works out. I'll leave it to you guys, you locals to... Have you missed? No, I just started because I was telling them, Julie, that I got all my classes accepted. So we were just talking about that show in Washington State. All right, we got our blue line still. We got that. We've got our interfacing on here. And now the last thing I'm going to do, not the last, but that looks good. Okay. Another strategy, I actually learned this from Angela Wolf. When you're applying interfacing like this to somewhere front and center, doing a pinked edge will make it blend in better. And that's what I should have done. I just didn't think of it till just now when I was sitting there looking at it. Yeah, I expect to hang out with all of you too. Oh, that's a smart idea, Amy. I love that. Maybe you all could. I might not. No, I'm just teasing. Okay. So I'm gonna also interface my collar. It's not recommended to do that, but I would like to give it a little bit more body. And you know, I like to live on the edge, obviously. So what I was thinking is, I'm gonna kind of look at it and make sure it's pretty symmetrical. Yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna fold it here. I was thinking, You're supposed to fold under one long edge, but obviously I can't do that with this fleece. So if I put this interfacing up to the fold line up there and here, I'll get a nice crisp fold edge at the top of my collar, and this interfacing is the perfect width. But if it wasn't, I would cut it down so that there was this little edge hanging off. Do you see this little edge? And then that way, even though I can't fold it up, at least I'll have this little edge to fold it up against. That's my plan. Let's see if we can iron this on without melting anything. We do have more fabric as a backup. Let me sacrifice my project for your knowledge. I'm just hovering it and steaming it. Figure that'll help get it on there. Okay. Okay, look at that. And see, now I have this nice crisp fold line there. I think that'll give it some body around the collar. Look at that. It looks, hopefully that's not a bad thing. I could use a press cloth. Have I ever used a press cloth? I think maybe once in my life, and you are right. I have one here and everything to encourage me to use one, and I don't. Hi, Fiona. Hi, I was just thinking about you the other day. Oh, really? Are you serious? I can't see the top of the screen, but are you saying hotels are probably, oh. Yeah, shoot. That's a lot like the yeah, that's true. Dang. Okay, where am I at here? Okay, we've done this. We put our line here. We put our interfacing back here. I cut the little zipper guard. Maybe we'll use it. I even got this out because I was thinking that maybe this could be the zipper guard. That'd be kind of cute. You know, like, so what her zipper guard is a little piece of fabric that sits right here at the base of the zipper. It's like a little tiny, you see a tiny little bit right there. I wonder if Donna would come. She was just here. Oh, I know what I want to do with this though. I want to put make a hanging loop with this. And I'm going to add it to the children's as well. We'll edge stitch this one. I'm in the mood. I'm not in the mood for the loop turner. It's a pretty fussy way to do it though, right? It's also a very hot way to do it. Let's see, that's a big enough loop. Maybe I could get both before this seam right here. The counselor is here today next to me, and she's usually not on Saturdays. And she has someone in there that laughs so much and so loud, it literally sounds like there's a comedy show happening in there. It's crazy. I've never heard that from a therapist's office. It's usually very quiet. Oh, I'd love to come to the UK. I love going to the UK. I've been so many times. I've traveled more of the UK than many of the locals there. They're like, wait, you've been where? I've never even done that. I'm like, you should. Love it. I love Edinburgh. I've probably said that before, but I really do. I could see you living there someday. Ugh, so much for getting this narrower, and then I just made it a little wider. There we go. Do this. It's a little bit toasty. This is how I like to make like a webbing strap, but you know, a webbing strap is 5 inches wide when I'm doing it, not 1.5. This show will be, I think, also a good opportunity to see like, okay, you know, what else can we teach garment-wise? Oh, I'm missing things in chat. Thanks for managing Panini. Should we all stay in the casino? You're a loud laugher. I am too. My mom has gotten thrown out of movie theaters. She's the tiniest little thing, but okay. We spent more time on making this thing. All right, let's start some sewing. Let me see what I've missed in chat here. Let's see here. Okay, I think I got everything. Wait, did you get a new machine, Julie? Where did I put my mouse? I was like looking for my mouse. Your brand new brother and oh, Elena the Enabler. I love it. Oh man, I changed my needle to, is it sewing? Yeah, I didn't think it was. I changed it to a size 16. It's a little thick for this binding. Did you see it going into the throw plate? Oh man. It's not sewing though, I can tell. Why aren't you sewing? Why aren't you sewing? Yeah, the kids are not coming. No kids allowed. No kids allowed. Do you guys remember that Snoopy, okay, do I have the needle in backwards? The Snoopy, I hated it. The one, I think where, like, it must be Charlie Brown, they go away. Why does that feel icky? And Snoopy misses them. And it has like the no dogs allowed right in front, you know, and there's a song, and that's what it sounds like. Dang, we need like a new machine, you know, hype in the guild. All right, why aren't you sewing? Here we go, let's see. Everything looks okay. All right. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, I'm just edge stitching this. It looked a little, couldn't tell what was going on there. This is just going to be like a little hanging loop in the back neck for prepping. I apparently made a hanging loop for like 6 different sweaters. All right. Anything to procrastinate, right? An industrial cylinder arm. I don't know what that is. All right, we're just gonna cut a little bit here because we need to get a part of our collar on. So, oh, we need to sew the shoulders too. You could, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We gotta do the shoulders. We gotta do the shoulders because we need the collar on there. I'm gonna do my serger over here, but later on I will bring the machine over for like the assembly. But for just these two pairs of shoulders, this pair of shoulders, we'll just do it over here real quick. Oh, I see. We did that, Shim. We did a practice honeymoon, actually in Edinburgh. I got the sickest I've ever been in my life. But we had an amazing time still. All right, we got that. Let's do this one. Oh, I gotta put the collar on too. I'm sorry, you guys. Maybe I should bring the serger over. Okay. So you're using a machine to sew leather bags. That's cool. All right, so here's my neck, and we're gonna put the collar on. We're just gonna put it like right sides together and leave it loose like this. So would you guys like me to bring my machine over here so you can watch me do that? I can try and put I could do this. I could do this maybe. Let's try this briefly. All right. So I have a notch at the center back neck right there of the shirt. I only slit a little bit for now. And then we're gonna put this right sides together. There's notches on this neckline at the shoulder and the center back. One here, one there. So we have some goals. When you're sewing something like this, make sure that you do the exact same seam allowance at your neck when you start and when you end. It'll help line up your whole zipper thing a lot better. And if you want to pre-sew it with your regular machine, that's definitely a good option if you're just really nervous about doing that. Okay. All right, so here's my first notch right here. So we'll line up the shoulder, push the seam toward the back. My collar is really stable, but it's not harder to sew, thankfully. I was a little worried that by making it so stable, it would mean that the garment itself would feel a little large like this. See, this does look a little bit like that, right? We kind of scrunched it a little, but it's okay. As long as we keep it lined up on the seam line, it's all matching. All right, and then here's our other shoulder. Not to mention that the edge we're sewing isn't actually fused. A little cramped over here. Move my machine over a little bit. All right, and then now we have our front edge here. You know, look at that, okay. And push this shoulder seam toward the back. All right, I'm just trimming a tiny bit. Okay. You know, the fleece is really easy to handle. I was having issues the other day because I had made it so thick with the junctures. Wait, what about you're just skipping Sew Expo altogether and now you're just going to the UK? Fine. Wait, I didn't catch part of this right here. Oh my gosh, I didn't catch a lot of it. What the heck? I'm a little worried about that, but I thought I caught some of it. Why are you having so much trouble sewing today? Is it the really big needle? I'm pretty sure it's the real, oh, I ran out of thread. Good thing we were winding one. That is a logical reason. Now I know why I was having trouble before. It was probably the tension on the bobbin at the very end. It's not the best because, you know, like when I put this on my bobbin winder over there, it comes off of a thing and then I go with my hand and then it starts wind and then I put it to wind. So that little bit, you know, it's not the best because it also means that there's like a little loose tail in there too, so. Oh, okay, cool. Like, wait. How did this become about your honeymoon? We never really had that kind of like honeymoon either. And but we've traveled so much and we've had so many great trips and we did it with Cricket, you know. We did that one to Edinburgh because he had a work trip over there. So I said, this is our practice honeymoon because there's not going to be a work trip involved if we go on a honeymoon. And I wanted to go somewhere warm because like Scotland is the exact same climate as where we used to live. So, so yeah, and then we just moved to somewhere warm. I don't want to forget this. That's what I'm worried about. So I'm just kind of thinking about it right now. I can't see the center anymore. Oh, clinging to itself and stretching a lot more. It is pretty stretchy, but it's not that stretchy. Polar Fleece is really, literally, it's very easy to sew with because it also doesn't fray, you know, or run like a knit does, like some knits. So yeah, there's a lot of great things about it. How big do we want this to be? Something like that. We're just going to attach it on here so we don't forget it right now. There's just too many people here in my building today. Saturday's my day. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it a little bit there. I'm not adding labels because we're donating this and I don't know. It feels a little like it's not about me, you know? All right, so we're gonna put in our zipper now. So we have this little zipper end. Now we could, so it's gonna be like a little tiny sliver like this wide sitting here above the zipper. We could do it in that snowflake. Could be kind of cute. Been to Bali twice. We did all our traveling after we had Cricket. When she was 7 months old, we went to Europe. We drove all over Europe, we leased a car. That's the way to go, lease a car. And then it was really fun. It was a lot though. She hated the car. What do we think? The little sliver of this. I like this idea. What do you guys think? Yeah, it doesn't have a nap. That's true. Yeah, it doesn't have a nap. So like corduroy and velvet, they kind of fight against you when you're, because it's almost like you put the, you know, piece of fabric together, right? And here's the fabric, and here's the velvet hanging off, right? And here's the fabric, and here's the velvet hanging off, right? So then when you put it right sides together like this, the velvet's like, well, what do I do? And it's like, oh, I gotta like push aside, and then it shifts your whole layer of fabric over, right? It doesn't lay flat like this, right where you place it. It kind of does this thing, same with corduroy. This doesn't really do that. It's just thick. Yeah, I like the snowflake idea too. All right, so we're gonna put this face down. I'm gonna put this here. I'm trying to remember how to do this, to be honest. We do this, right? Like this. And then like this. No. I have the directions pulled up. All right, what do the directions say? Oh, that's so, yeah. Oh, you're American, that's right, yeah. It's true. Yeah, I did that with my mom and sister. And this was before the internet, before smartphones. We didn't even have a GPS. And my mom and I have probably argued twice in my life, and one of those arguments was on that trip in Glasgow. It wasn't even about the driving, but that was not helping. So she has this weird quirk where she's not very good with her left and right. And the whole thing of like when you're driving on the opposite side of the road than you're used to, you know, the left turns hug the corner there, where the left turns here, cross traffic. So she kept saying the opposite thing. She'd be like, up here, you're going to make a left. And she meant right. And forget about the roundabouts. I'd just be like, don't tell me. Just tell me where we're going. Don't tell me which one to get out on. So it was pretty funny. All right. So first thing we do, we place the front right side up, fold the zipper guard in half, and place it on the front at the bottom of the zipper placket. The cut edge place 3/8 of an inch above the bottom of the placket. Okay, like this. Yeah. See, Scotland, that was fine. It was a little hairy. England, a little hairy. Ireland, though. I don't know how we ended up with both mirrors by the time we left that place, because literally the roads are one car width wide, and I don't know what you do when another car comes. That was never explained to us. So yeah, that was trying. There's just a hedge or a wall. Yeah, right, Sydney, exactly. Okay. I'm taking way too long to do this. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. We're going to do this. I wanted to actually see if this was about the same size. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Just want to make sure. I don't do it this way. This is one of the things I struggled with when I made her video. I was like, wait, what? So the outs, there were no outs. Okay, zipper face down, bottom of the zipper pointing up, meaning I think towards the top of the garment. Align the zipper teeth with the center line. Sew across the bottom of the zipper through all the layers 5/8 of an inch. Okay, all right. So one of the things you were supposed to do is make this line extend down, and that's probably why, so you can get your zipper in a straight line, you know? So we'll just pin this so that we don't shove it. See a bunch of floating hearts. Yeah, exactly. It must be Ray. Beirut. Oh, yeah. Haven't driven there. We rented a car in Iceland. That was fine. That was easy. All right. So 5/8 of an inch, huh? I really feel like I would like this to go up higher like this. I'm straight up struggling here. Is that what I want? Okay, I'm gonna sew like right here. Okay, I'll show you what I did. Okay. Right, and then like that. Okay, so what I did was I sewed between my thumbnails here, and this is the raw edge of my zipper guard. I put the zipper past it because I really wanted to sew above the stop. I wanted some of this to show as well. Hey Ray, how's it going? The horn, yeah. True, they do. All right, now we're gonna clip this. We're gonna like make the rest of our slit here. I'm gonna put this straight on to me. And we're gonna cut down here along our line. And then when we get down here, we're gonna do our Y, right? This is so weird. We'll slit to my stitching line there. Oh my gosh, did I just cut through the fabric? Oh, that's okay. That would have been okay. All right, we'll flip this up. I said I'd give you an easier way to do this, and I'm struggling because I guess I gravitate towards hard ways. Okay, that's right. Okay, we're okay. Oh man. They don't use their headlights to see at night. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, you needed a 12-inch zipper. Mine is a little longer than that. So we're going to mark our, I probably should have done this before. We're gonna mark our zipper height here. You guys distracted me. I had this whole plan. I had this whole plan. I'm measuring my zipper, the 12-inch length. It's right here. And I'm going to end my zipper there. All right, so we're going to fold it over. You want to do this even if your zipper, if you're using the whole length, you want to fold your tail over like this. So I'm going to fold it. I just fold it at a 90-degree angle like this. I can't see my string here. This is pretty fiddly, so I'm going to pin it a little bit. So there we go. That'll look like this. And so I really like the fold to line up with the zipper teeth. You know, the other way you can fold this is so that it folds along the zipper teeth of the functioning zipper here. But I think that this looks messier. So I put it on along the fold, the like right angle here. That doesn't mean that there's not a fold going along the zipper teeth. It's just at a diagonal now in the back. So it's a little more manageable. And so I'm gonna sew across this. Make sure your zipper's down when you do this, if you're shortening it. I mean, you actually can't have it up, so I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, and then let's do the other side. Okay, just trying to get it even, like that. Okay, I wanted to shorten it at the top because I actually think this right here is a little bit pokey when it's against the neck, the stop up there. This is a lot softer, the coil. And then this little cut edge of the coil will be inside the collar, so that won't be exposed to skin or anything. You can just trim this off now. Boop. And then now we're going to mark 3 inches down on our zipper tape here. Really want to use a marker, but I kind of want it to disappear right away. Will the blue show up? Let's see. The blue is blue, you know, with the blue and the blue. All right, so we're going to measure 3 inches down from our stop here. And we're going to mark across. And you're going to want to do this on both sides and on the other side. So make sure you can see it. Get this a little darker and I'll be able to see it. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we're just going to put in our zipper right sides together. And that little line goes to your neck seam. So here's our front, right? And right now we're looking at it wrong side up, okay? And then we're just gonna pick this up and put it right sides together. So you see how when we cut that little Y, now we have this little seam allowance. So it really does seem easy now, right? I'm coming through on that part. Showing a pair of jeans. Wait, what did I miss here? I'm sewing a pair of jeans for my daughter out of dogwood denim. That stuff's stiff. I just finished the front and I realized I never even finished. Oh, I don't, yeah, you do not need to with that fabric. No kidding. Okay, so it's gonna go like that. And then the same with the other side, you know. So we'll just sew one first. You might need a zipper foot. I might need a zipper foot. The polar fleece is thick enough that it's not quite an issue. Kind of compensates for the lack of a zipper foot. I was thinking that maybe I could pull my collar down now. I think so. I sort of want to mark the top of my collar too. I'm lining up my zipper right now to the interfacing line. You know, remember when I put my 2 rows of interfacing there? I figured that'd be a really good gauge, right? So now this is how that'll go. Okay, so let's just check it out. Yeah, it's looking pretty straightforward there. All right, and then I want to look at, this is a lot of shirt. I want to look at how it's lining up right now. So we'll do that too. Yeah, so that blue line right there goes to that seam and that seam. So that's perfect. Let's trim this little bit of interfacing. And then here, let's mark where that'll go. Okay, I think that'll work just fine. All right, so let's sew this one. See, it just flips over like that. I think I'm gonna need to use the zipper foot. I need to get a little closer to my Y. We should be starting at the base of that Y, the cut, right? Oh no, it happened to one side until I had already cut and turned. Oh man. How many pattern pieces did that thing have? It had like 17, right? Push that seam up into the neck. Can you guys see okay? Do you want me to pull down the machine? Do you guys have fleece fatigue? I've actually been loving this project, you know. Did I get that up there? All right, so I'm gonna put my zipper foot on and just make sure it got nice and close to my Y. Because the base of that Y, wait, how does the Y look? Well, like it's, oh my, can my hands do that? All right. Yeah, so if this is the base of the Y, right, my fingertips, right, and my arms are the zipper, right, you need to start sewing in that Y. At the corners. Where's my, oh, right. I have them over here. I have this one, and then I don't think I ever got a proper zipper foot because I got that wackadoodle one. Oh, I got my, see, I got this new turn screw, so I don't need my, my screwdriver. Thanks to Terry prodding me for 5 years to get it. All right. Let's see here. We want to make sure we're at the corner of this Y. I'm going to use my awl to kind of pull it. I'm just making sure I wasn't sewing on anything. It felt really stiff right there. I was a little worried, but there's nothing there. I need to get that away from the teeth a little bit. There we go. Undoing the zipper so I can get closer or stay close. I should have done with the zipper up, face up, you know? I like being able to see that Y though, right there. So that's why I did it with the fabric side up. All right, so let's do this one here. And again, here's my Y right there. I got pretty close. I need to pull my zipper up right now. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it is, right? It's that big screw, right? So I don't have to use my screwdriver. Okay. Let's see how we're looking. Looks pretty good, I think. The little hit of the snowflake at the bottom there. All right, that's all the hard bit. That wasn't that hard, right? I still used my screwdriver. Habits. I was so excited. Rayanne got a brand new industrial sewing machine. She's kind of getting into bag making and maybe even designing and selling bags. And it's like, her first new industrial. I mean, this is my only ever brand new industrial to me. So exciting. I'm so happy for her. We didn't know about Waywack when we had chicken boots. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's in their instructions too, so it is a nice touch. All right, so we're gonna fold the collar right sides together along this zipper here. Well, not really, right sides, the collar right sides together. It's on the wrong side of the zipper. And then we're gonna fold up the end of the collar there to just line up with the neck. I would put that fold, if anything, put it below the seam. Like here's the seam, put the fold just slightly past it because we need to edge stitch it, and we need some room to catch it. Like we need extra to catch it hanging down below the neckline there. All right, so let's cut all these little threads here. I did not do that though. Look at that. It's like a little higher. Let's pull it down a little bit. So we were talking about that industrial the other day that comes with a buttonhole attachment, the Juki, is it the TL, right? The brand new thing. Do they have a model that just has a buttonhole attachment? Asking for a friend. all my friends. Okay, let's see if we can pull this down a little bit more. Okay. I sort of want to do it from this side. This way my machine won't be pushing it up. Okay, that's a little better. All right, and let's do our other side here. Fold it up. And I'm putting that fold just past the neck seam. My fabric kind of pushed away right there, so I'm gonna catch it a little better, and that's probably because the zipper pushed my foot a little bit. I don't really feel it in there, but that looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna turn it clean. Now we don't have a zipper guard on this, but we have a pretty soft edge here. We have our corner is the coil, which is a little softer than the stop, so that'll help. And there we go, that's how it'll look. Home sewer, home sewist. Well, I feel like I'm pretty biased on that, and I don't think it's, necessarily better than a home sewing machine. I like using one more. Like I like using one better. So I don't really know if that's helpful to you. I think you can do everything you want to do with an industrial, but it's not portable. So if you're someone who moves a lot, or maybe you think you'd move your sewing room in your house a lot, moving the industrial is an industrious endeavor. So there's that. I like it so much that it doesn't matter. One's coming with me wherever I go, and I've gotten really clever about how to move it. If you remove the oil, it's a lot easier to move, and removing the oil is very easy. It's no big deal. So, if you're interested in like learning about an industrial, I have a video all about like having one. It's kind of a long video, but there's timestamps, so you can just jump around to see what you want. And it goes over like what I like about it, what it does for me, the benefits of having it, And then I have another video in that same like machine playlist where I race 3 machines against each other sewing the exact same thing, sewing something I'm going to be teaching at that Sew Expo. And one of the industrials doesn't have the electronics that I use, which is the auto thread cutting and the auto back tack, which I never use the auto back tack. The other one is more basic. It's a very, very affordable way to get one of these. You could buy a brand new industrial for $600, just like mine. Identical, exact same thing. It just doesn't have the electronics. And then so I sew it with that, and I show you what I'm missing from this. And then I sew it on a home sewing machine. So you can kind of see like how different it is to sew the exact same thing. And it's not a very long video because it's very quick to sew that little thing. So I feel like that's a good place to kind of go, you know, oh, this is what I'd be missing if I got this. This would be missing if I got that. So the thing that's missing from my industrial is a buttonhole. And I think that the thing I would do if I bought another industrial, if I were to do this over again, because when I bought this, I still had chicken boots. There wasn't a fire here. My machine had lost, it's the one in that video, it had lost its electronics because the motor blew. And it was like a 40-year-old machine, so that's fine. Like, you know, so the machine still works without the electronics. That's what's cool about it, right? So if I were to do this again, I would probably research getting an industrial zigzag, because if you zero out a zigzag, it's a straight stitch machine, and you might be able to do a manual buttonhole with a zigzag. And let's face it, having a zigzag would be helpful for doing lots of things, right? Underwear and things like that. I would love, like, sewing underwear with the zigzag is so ideal for the stretch, like, of everything. I think zigzag is the best, but it's so tedious on a home machine that I don't do it. I do the cover stitch or whatever. But if I had an industrial zigzag, ooh, zip, 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 that would be really fun. So I think if I were to look at getting an industrial again, if I knew that I was going to be doing this full time, I would have looked at industrial zigzag, just got a Juki zigzag, and just seen what it was like to sew one, see what the straight stitch is like on it. That's what I would do. So you know what I love about the industrial the most, and this is going to seem like not a reason to buy an industrial, but I can't tell you how big of an impact it is. The pressure of the presser foot is so firm. I can really pull on something when it's under the needle, and the needle it stops down. I have it programmed to do that. So I really love that a lot. Like, that's what you'll see me miss the most in that video where I pit those three machines against one another, is the home machine doesn't have that oomph, you know, and it's a good Bernina. So, okay, so I've just pinned my collar. Let's pin a few more, but this is one of those times where the rare times Saremy has to sew from the right side and catch the inside, and Saremy don't like that. So I'm giving myself a lot of pins. I will say the cool thing about doing it on a fleece thing is that the stitches get buried in the fleece. I'm gonna do this more at a perpendicular, not at an angle. You can feel the ridge of the fold on the right side, so it's not that hard. I always think it's gonna be, and then I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. Yeah, sure, Anne. Oh, Monica had a question earlier. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for modding. Let's see here. Cutting out my first camera button up, my measurements put me at an 18, but a 16 is a finished measurement of 50 inches. What should I do? I'm using 4.5 ounce sand washed cotton fabric. So meaning, are you saying that that circumference is larger than you? Like, what's the ease? That doesn't tell me where you're at in there. So so when I made the Cameron, I don't feel like my experience is going to help you much, because I made the same size as Helen. So when Helen sent me the pattern, she literally sent me her pattern, like the one she had printed out and cut out and used to sew herself a few Camerons. She just sent me that. Like, it was like a used pattern, which was fine, totally fine, in her size, and she had made like a couple of length adjustments to it for her height. So I used her pattern to make mine because I was like, oh, this will be fine. And it was kind of big for me. You're a 44 bust. You would like it oversized, but not too much. So 6 inches of ease sounds pretty good. It's pretty square shouldered design. If you want, I could measure mine and see what it's like. Mine was so big that I ended up lining it with shearling, and I love it. Yeah, right, Anna? I totally agree. Okay, look at that. Look at all those pins. When do you see me do that? Yeah, I think so, Monica. Okay, do we have enough? Is it holding it down? It is holding it down. All right, so I'm gonna stitch in the ditch. So we're stitching in the ditch of the seam, and we need to catch that fold. That's why we needed it to be like just below the seam. Yeah, I hope that helps. Yeah, I'm not sure, you know, my experience with the pattern is very helpful because, you know, when I made the one in the video, the floral one, that got sent back to Helen. And I do have videos of it on my dress form, I think, or pictures of it on my dress form. I would have assumed Helen and I were like the same size, but she's a lot taller than me, I think. So she's probably going to use a larger size. So, am I catching it? I don't feel like I'm catching it. I'm feeling for the ridge of the fold of the pinned edge. Sewing. Do you guys think that it's wrong to sew over pins? Because sometimes I see these like Instagram reels where people are like, oh my gosh, I'm being so naughty and sewing over my pins. I'm like, that's how I was taught to sew. You shouldn't be concerned about removing pins while you're sewing. You should be focused on the sewing bit. That being said, for like the first 10 years of when I was sewing, I always pinned perpendicular or parallel to the seam, so perpendicular to the machine. So then I would pull them out as I go. And people would always be like, that's so dangerous, don't do that. But I was so addicted to doing it that way. I loved doing it that way. And one day it finally happened where the pin got stuck in there. The needle was hitting it. It was really bad. It was bad and dangerous. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why people are like, I'm being such a rebel. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. There are no rebels in sewing. Oh yeah, that can happen. That can totally happen. That has happened to me. I was making these robes for, I worked at a spa, and the spa hired me to make a bunch of robes for sale, and I did it. That was awesome. Look at that, I caught it. Oh my goodness. So the terry cloth was kind of thick in a couple places, and every time I would do this one seam, it was like the shoulder juncture at the sleeve, the needle would break and hit me right here. It happened so many times in a row. I had a red mark right here under my eye, and I didn't wear glasses then. And so, and I was doing it on a home sewing machine, you know, and I would be like this sewing it, hand cranking, you know. Look at that, this looks really cute. All right. This looks so cozy. Oh yeah, oh boy. Yeah, oh yeah, we had such a lightning and thunderstorm last night that I think we might have lost power. We have a generator, so we didn't know, and we were probably sleeping. If we did lose power, it wouldn't have mattered. But like our pond, the pump was off. And that's because there was so much water that water got into the connection for the pond pump. We have the cutest little pond. And then the radio station was down. I was like, I don't know what to do. I have to listen to the radio in the morning. And I had to look it up, and they had a warning on, or a apology on their site saying they lost power at the radio station. And it was still out this morning. So yeah, timing is bad if you hit a pin. Yeah, it can be really bad. Perpendicular, always perpendicular, and cautiously. Like if you're using those like the pins I had to use in college, those are too thick. Those are a little, we used these pins that didn't have a ball head. It had a nail head. They were like nail head pins. We were only allowed to use those. They were thick. They don't bend. Okay. So we just need to put our sleeves on and hem this and it's done. What do you guys think? I think that went really good. What do you think? Like, it's a raw edge in here. Oh, you're supposed to top stitch this. Ugh, I just like it untop stitched. I feel like top stitching can ruin it sometimes, you know? So, you know, so you can see the benefits of binding really make the inside look more finished. Let's clean this up down here a little bit. This was on the bias, so we don't have to worry about this little piece of fabric fraying. Just going to cut it the width of the zipper so it doesn't even really show. But we could make it look a little cuter on the inside by covering the end of the zipper down here. Let's do that. Really wanted to bind this zipper because I knew it was going to leave it raw, but we were going for simple, that nothing will unravel if you do this like this. So yeah, right? I think it looks nice. Top stitching sometimes is just dangerous. All right, so I'm just gonna make the bottom of this look a little nicer. So we'll just fold a little piece of binding around it. Don't have much to grab here. Okay. I always do this. I get it all arranged, then I doubt it, and then I pull it back up. I want to go up higher too, if I can. We'll see if I can. There's the, we can't go too high, actually. There's the stop of the zipper. You could bind the inner neck seam, inner neck seam. Oh, you know what? This will be easier if I go like this. Yeah, that would be a nice touch. I like that idea a lot. I thought about that too, but then I was like, nope, we're keeping this simple, and they'll yell at me if I bind the inner neck. We did that on the men's. Okay, fold this edge like this. This is so fiddly. I used to do this to the bottoms of all of my zipper pulls for my needle cases. It wasn't quite this fussy. I was a little better at it, and I had more space. I'm a little worried about that. The zipper stop is right there, so I was just trying to go around it. We'll cut this a little bit off here, and then we'll I really didn't do this right. Oh no, let me see. It's kind of covered some of that up, but not much. And I didn't give myself very much room to tuck all this under and edge stitch it, which I usually do. I made this super fiddly. Let's trim down some of this in here, and it'll be a little easier. I shouldn't have done such a big seam allowance. All right, so pull this, straighten out this. What the heck? What the heck? Okay. Something's going on right here. You see that? Is that all it is? Okay. Yeah, I definitely didn't do this in the easiest way, did I? We're just tucking all these raw ends here, and we're gonna edge stitch it like a sandwich. Nothing like dead air. Like when I turned on my radio station and they were gone. This does not look better, I don't think. Ugh. Sometimes we just don't make it better. Okay. Ask me another day to show you how I do those. Because I also let it flare a little bit, which forgot to not do that. Okay. It's something. Get rid of some of these threads here. Clean it up. Always get rid of these threads, you know? Make it look nicer. Yeah, so we could have easily bound that edge, right? That wouldn't have been hard. Yes, you can. It just depends sometimes on how much you have, you know? But yeah, I usually like to do that too, you know? Because it's not like I'm binding it. Usually when I end up with this kind of tail, you know, it's more like this long, right? That would be the whole thing inside there. The width of the zipper. But I sewed too far down, far into it. Okay. Let's just sew the rest together and we'll hem it. Yeah, right? Oops. See if we can do that. It works, right? Except for the thread pulling right there. You want more binding? Yeah, right? I agree with you. But I stuck with the directions so I didn't make some complicated thing. All right. Should we set the sleeves in this time? I think we should. We don't need to do, we're not doing any cuffs this time. We're just doing hems. So we can do hems in the round. Look at all that fuzz. I thoroughly cleaned my serger before and after last time. This is the side seam. Binding, binding, binding. Always cut your, yeah. Yeah, I would have students bring me their thing and they're like, it's done, but it just looks so bad. And I'm like, all right, go do something else and come back in a few minutes. And then they'd come back and all I did was trim all the threads, ironed it, you know, stuff like that. And then they're like, oh my gosh, it looks like a store-bought thing. I'm like, yeah, you just need to trim your gosh dang threads. Hey Donna, how's it going? Oh Donna, they've already been planning a trip for you this coming spring. I'm just gonna warn you, better put it in the budget. All my classes got approved at Sew Expo. So, you know, they're planning a trip and you're apparently going, so, you know. Let's look at this seam juncture here. We can see we have a little bit of a ragged cut line, so I'm just going to trim that now because we're going to cover stitch the hem. We really need a nice smooth transition there. Oh, you missed that, Eliza? Yep, at the, I got all my classes approved. Hopefully I'm not the only teacher there. Maybe they were desperate. Imagine. Okay. We're going to do the underarms of the sleeves now. So this is the hem here. If you want to cover stitch your hems flat, you could do that and then do your underarm seam. That works great. You're up for a trip. Nice. You get your credit card out. Exactly. Get your credit card out because Shem won't be allowed one and he's going to need some help. He's only going to be allowed cash and he might need a backup. I love how Shem went from, I don't even know if there's anything there for me, to I'm only going to be allowed to bring cash. I'm just kind of pushing the fleece because, you know, I have the pressure of the presser foot pretty light right now, like up here at the top. I have this thing right here, pretty high up. You see there's like a little HML, right? So I have it pretty high up. And that's just so that there's not a lot of pressure pushing down on the fabric while it sews, because then it would push this top layer toward me. But I still feel like I'm having to hold it as it goes under because I can see it buckling on the side here. Yeah, you would. That's why people go to these things, to spend money. It's in Washington State, not New York City. Exactly. Wait, what's Julie up to, Ray? I missed it. Trimming off a little more than an eighth, aren't I? It's like little ice blue worms. All right, and let's put the sleeves right side out. No, Puyallup is in Washington State. There is a sewing show in New York. I know what you're talking about. I think that's the ASG show. Okay, so I don't think we have any notches on this, right? So let's match our underarm here, and this is our back side. So we're going to push the seam allowance of the sleeve towards the front, seam allowance of the body to the back. You can tack that on your regular machine first too. All right, let's get that under there, holding it. Hey, Julie deserves it, right? So this went by really quick too, huh? You too could have one of these by the end of today. All right, that's one sleeve there. Is Martina here? Hey, Kathleen. Where's Martina? Oh, there's Martina. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, we're making good time on this thing, even though we talked for like the first half hour. All right, so this time, this side's the front, this is the back here. So push our side seam to the back, sleeve seam to the front. I saw Jen Stern is teaching, I think it's also like at a sewing show, right? An ASG show in Kansas, but she's teaching at a store. It looks really nice. Any of you in that area? And there's a quilt show happening somewhere. Someone asked me if I was gonna be there, and I was like, oh no, I didn't even know about it. Maybe there's some work-related thing you can do in Washington, Donna. There's a lot of tech there, you know. Okay, this is the front, so push the shoulder seam to the back. If you were to make one of these, what would you guys wear? Would you rather it have sleeve hems and a waist hem, or sleeve cuffs and a waistband? You know, like the stretchy thing. The show's at the end of February, going into March, that weekend. Yeah, there you go, Donna. You would do cuffs, yeah. Which trousers did I make for cricket? Oh, I think I used the 5 out of 4 pajama bottom pattern. They weren't quite oh, wait. That's what you're thinking of, right? The rayon that was the astrology. That one. Cuffs for sure. And I have the Saremy. Wait, you have the Saremy what? Did it, so it must be doable factory. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. It's a leap year. Once in a lifetime, you guys. Come and see me. Take my class. I'm looking at chat. All right, I think we're done with the serger, so I'm just gonna move that back over, and we can bring the cover stitch over. I'm trying to hold on to this cord, but I need to like hang it up. Here we go. Sit up number 1. Sit up number 2. Okay. The cover stitch is so cute, isn't it? It's so small and cute. I love it. I love how compact it is. It's kind of nuts when you think about this little thing, what it can do, all in this little package, you know? What am I teaching at Expo? I'm teaching 3 kind of bag making style classes, because it's really hard to fit in a garment in the amount of time you get. And then 1 on seam finishes. I really want to do something garment related, but it also needs to have sewing in it, because I'm being hosted by someone with like sewing machines, so I really wanted to respect that, you know, honor that. So, but it'll be the notions case, and there'll be supplies to make 3. You can make all 3 there, take some with you. The double, which is not a pattern that I've released yet, but it was one of our better selling things on Chicken Boots. It was like a bestseller. And then the project bag, which is kind of a heavy duty thing. Hey, Libby. How's your trip? And then the other one's on seam finishes. And then I'm actually going to have things there in the shapes, like, oh, we want to do this to a fly, so that I'm not just telling you to do it, but it's really hard when you get to having that actual shape thing. So I'm going to do Hong Kong finish, flat felled, French, and binding. 4 seam finishes, really practical uses for garment making. I'm looking around. There's so much I'm looking around right now. The camera arm is in front of chat, and the thread cradle, and then this camera's right in front of my face too. So, Libby, when are you home? Guess what? My daughter's going to be a neighbor of yours. All right, I think I'm gonna tack this so I don't forget the little thread tail at my sleeve right here. So I'm just gonna pull it there. Okay. And then let's do this one here. Oh, wow, Libby, cool. She did, she really did. Like, I'm so proud of them. They did so good, because it is hard, man. You have to have like a credit score of, 650 or 700. My daughter doesn't have a credit score of anything because she's, 20, which means she doesn't have debt, which is a good thing, right? So yeah, there's definitely some, like, finagling that had to happen. Oh my God, this thing is all over. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna do the sleeve here, and I'm gonna check my transition. I'm actually gonna just tack this right here. I don't know why, I just like to. I know it's probably not necessary. I just like to. Because I'm a puller. When I sew, I'm a puller. So I pull. I do, and I'm not going to say it here if that's okay with you. I just did that one too. Because I pull things hard, everybody. That's one of my things I do, one of my habits. All right, so we need to turn this inside out because we don't have a free arm on the cover stitch. All right, and so fold this over. And we want the seam to go this way, like that. What do you mean? I totally know. I don't want you to know. Bye, Amy. And I think she would appreciate that. And we made sure it was like secure, all that kind of thing. So I'm just putting in 1 pin here to hold my seams being pressed one direction. Okay, let's see. This is the front, so we're pushing the seam this way. Oh, let's turn it inside out too. Oh, right. Yeah. No, what Libby means is that all the areas of Sacramento are named. So like they have different names for the neighborhoods, and that's how people talk about it. So that's what she's asking, if I knew the name of it. And I'm not actually sure I know the name of it, to be honest. I just know what area it is, and I don't know what the name of it is. So I knew what she meant. Like, I know what her area is because my husband's like, oh, I love that area. And I was like, how do you know it's called that? He's like, you just kind of start to get to know those areas and the names of them. And then like if you're shopping like for a house or an apartment, that's what they say, in the historic such and such area, so. All right. I don't really like that I cannot see my fabric through, but here, this is my strat. Making sure your hem is equally folded, and then this way I can go like and maybe I'll even like pin it in a few places, right? Just to keep it folded. Oh, really? That's cute. Tiny Kittens. Oh. That's how Cashmerette names their patterns. There's streets in Boston and neighborhoods, I think. So then what I do is I'm going to take this width right here and I'm going to line up the cut edge with my left needle like that. And then I look on my bed where this lines up, which is right here. So then I know that if I put this under the presser foot and the needle, and I line up the fold edge to that line, theoretically, I'm gonna catch it. And we're gonna get rid of the pins too. So, but this only works if your fold is actually folded the amount you started out with when you measured everything. Okay, we're sewing. You don't remember a single one of them now. I actually had someone from chat once message me and tell me where my daughter lived as to prove a point that I was telling too much online, and I had only said a couple of things, but they were like, look, I can figure that out, so anyone can. So, you know, and I know that this person meant well. Like, they really were like trying to be like, you really have to be careful, and this, I'm going to scare you so that you know, and it worked, you know. It's stuck with me. Yeah, so hey Bonnie, how's it going? Yeah, and they really were someone that we all like and cherish. So, you know, it's like they were making a good point. Yeah. All right, that turned out good. See how my edge got caught? See, when I follow my own instructions, it kind of works. Let's trim off this little edge. Look at that, all the way around. Ding! Let's do our other one here. Let's see, here it is. So again, make sure, and we'll pin it in a few places. See, what I usually would do is I would just iron this. And if I iron it, I can make sure that it stays the width. I don't need to put the pins in there. This is probably only the second time in my life I've used pins with my cover stitch. But we can't really do that with the polar fleece, so that's why we're pinning it. And then I'm just gonna check and make sure it's the same width all the way around. This side right here looks a little shallower. All right, and then don't assume that we folded the same amount as the other side, right? Okay. I mean, how would you, it's hard to remember the names of other people's neighborhoods, right? I wouldn't expect you to remember them all. I mean, neighborhoods of where? Like, are they in a big city or something? Tiny Kittens. One of the animal live streams I watch is he does photography, but he does birds of prey. So owls, hawks, falcons. He's in the UK. And he has, I think his name's like Robert something. Robert, I don't know, I could look it up. But he has cameras and nesting boxes and cameras in the nesting boxes. It's really, really cool. I pretty much follow it because my husband's super into birds. But sometimes I just have it on, and it's really fun to see the people in the chat know these animals so well. And they're like, oh, look, we haven't seen Piper in a while. Look. And it's like there's like, you know, videos trained like on a snag that they land on in all these multiple nesting boxes, and it's like it's like a quadrant on the live stream, so there's 4 cameras you can see simultaneously. You know what I mean. But it was the Sacramento neighborhoods. Oh, that's really funny. I wonder why they did that. That's great. Because when I think of neighborhoods, I think of like Portland, you know, Oregon. That was kind of one of my first experiences with that. It's always a little sticky outy at the juncture of the seam. That one turned out really good too. Like a pro. All right, let's do the big hem. And then we're done. I thought we'd be streaming a lot longer today. All right, so we're gonna push the seam back, right? Yep. Let's go do this at the ironing board. What do you think of that? Yes, he is. Yes, he is in the UK. The guy with the nests and things. Well, it's not his nest. I think that he might be on some sort of land trust where all the cameras are. I feel like it's Robert Wood Photography or something like that. I'm just gonna turn my iron off. I don't really need it. Look at this little jagged. Who cut that? Who did that? Blend this in a little bit. Oh, I heard it's Minerva's birthday today. That's cool. They have a sale too. I could be a better brand ambassador, huh? I have a fabric to make. In fact, at the end of the stream, when you guys remind me, maybe I could get some ideas from you or some things maybe you would want sewn, because I got some fabric from them and it's a knit. And I've been trying to decide what to make. So I'd love your input. I was thinking about the Itch to Stitch Lisbon. Just put I'm gonna do a wider hem. I think it'll look nicer. Something like that. Looks luxe, all right? Right, Libby? That's what I was thinking too. Natomas. Natomas would be kind of a cool name for a cat. Your hand is sore, Monica? What have you been cutting out? Is it something thick? Yes, big party. Not feeling up to it though. Yeah, I saw they have like a pop-up shop. Oh, I saw it on their Instagram. It looked, it was kind of funny because I saw the post of the pop-up shop, and my next post was Tomcat Stitchery doing a little strut and showing off her Jessica blazer and wishing them a happy anniversary. It was cute. She toasted them and drank. It looked like something, you know. Loma. Loma. Maybe. I mean, we do have a lot of lomas. Is the party lasting tomorrow too? Look at me pinning this hem. I feel like this is a little extra, but I'm just trying to drag the stream out a little bit. You know, my tip with the rotary is to not look at the blade. Look where you want to go. I always do the mountain biking analogy. Look where you want your tire to go. You don't want it to go into the pothole or into the middle of the garment. Look where you want it to go, and your brain naturally guides your hand that way. It definitely takes practice. I get that. But not everybody is into rotary For me, it's ended up being more accurate, but not for pattern drafting. Never for pattern drafting. Scissors, 100% scissors. I feel like I keep going around and I'm upping it, and then I go around and I up it again. This is the plaid shirt in high school all over again. Mrs. Oitzman's gonna give me a D in sewing. I don't even have the excuse of a mismatched plaid here. Okay, we'll stop there. But we're gonna pin this. Yeah, that's so smart, Terry. Like I keep saying, I'm terrible at narrow things, so I do that too. Because otherwise it's like, all right. Let's check out the width, you know, making sure that okay. Okay, so we want this inside out. And we need to line up our fleece cut edge. So it's kind of just past this little plate here. It's probably gonna be a problem. Let's see though. Gotta like coax it under there, man. It's some thick stuff. Plus the threads kind of prevent it, you know. Is Patrick Grant one of the like related to Sewing Bee? I'm assuming related to Sewing Bee, right? Is he the one I always see? Oh no, wait, I always see clips of the baking one. I don't know who Patrick Grant is. Do I know who Patrick Grant is? That's one thing I'm really worried about with Sew Expo is that I don't know anybody like that I should be fawning over, you know? Like, oh my God, it's Angela Wolf, you know? And I feel bad because I feel like that's disrespectful in their eyes sometimes, you know, when you're not like, oh, hi, how's it going? Nice to meet you. Oh, okay, Savile Taylor and Sewing Bee Judge. Oh, that's really cool. I feel like I'm falling off. I think when you have more width, it's easier to keep it folded nice. Really holding that top layer firm, like, you know, like pushing so that it doesn't slide and torque the hem edge. It also helps to hold it from behind, I think. I better practice my fawning. I'm not kidding. I feel like people really get affronted if you're not duly impressed. And I don't want to, you know, offend somebody. Here's the deal, you guys. I worked in the fashion industry, all right? The fashion industry is a really weird world. So this is what I've learned. You know, when you aren't the like head designer, like say I'm the pattern drafter, I am there to make your will is my command, okay? So you're like, this is what I want in my vision and I want you to make that happen, right? I'm the pattern drafter, that's what I do. So you learn pretty quickly Did I just hear something funny? Wait, we're almost done, and I'll tell my story. I broke a thread. I had to have. I did. Bugger. What's that about? I think I did. Gosh. Well, anyway, like, this is the thing is, like, sometimes, you know, you don't really want to fawn over somebody, you know, or act like they're the bee's knees. But in the fashion world, it's honestly better if you just do it. It doesn't matter. Like, my ego is not tied up with being the one who did all the work. Like, I don't need everybody to know that I was the smart one in the room, you know, or whatever, you know. It's like, I know, and that's fine. They know because they paid me really good. And so I feel like, is this sewing? Are you sewing right now? Are you sewing? Because I really can't tell. You're so quiet right now. Oh, you are? Okay, just a minute. So in some ways it irks me because I just don't really feel like anybody is more special than anyone else. That's just fundamentally how I feel. I feel like we're all equal, except this cover stitch that's giving me a heart attack right now. And but I learned too that sometimes you got to like treat people. Yeah, look at that. That's not sewing. Like almost like love language style, right? If that's their love language, like if that's the thing they need in order to function properly in a work environment, like to a certain point, I can hand that to them. That's fine, you know, like, yeah, I have my boundaries. I have my limits. I'm not going to do something among, you know, like whatever. But if that's what it took to get what I needed out of them in order to get my job done, it's fine, whatever. Like, think you're special. I know how I feel. You know what I mean? So we're all equal. There are people that are more skilled than me, and there are people less skilled than me, and whatever, we're still all equal. That kind of ruined my beautiful cover stitch hem, that right there, a little section. Look at that. I don't know what happened, but I feel like something happened. This feels... So yeah, and I do think that because people knew I was like, I was very respectful, but I was also like, no, boo, you're not more important than me. You're just, you know, the boss. You know, it also gained me some respect too, because I wasn't going to compromise on important things, and they could trust me. They could trust me, and because I didn't think of them as better than me, I could say, hey, are you sure you want to do that because of blah, blah, blah? I'm not questioning you. I'm just reminding you that there's this other consequence. There's a difference. I'm not saying, well, that's dumb. I'm saying, let me make you look even better. You know what I mean? I could make you look better. So, I don't have a net. It doesn't seem like, I don't feel like this one gets too crazy, but I do. Oh, here it is. There's the deal. Look, it didn't, it came off right here. I knew I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Ugh, I don't like threading these right here. They're kind of, I can never stop at this one little juncture right here. Oi. Can I go back? Sheesh. I think I'll just figure this out later. I may re-cover stitch that little bit because I can just unzip it with the, because it's chain stitch, right? So I can always re-sew it. Oh, really, Fiona? Yeah. Wait, what's 800 pounds? Like Patrick, he also has a charity company where he sells affordable clothes while selling $8,000 through Tensorville. Yeah, that's awesome. You're done cutting. I need a bag of frozen peas for my hand now. Ooh, yeah, what were you cutting? You're hemming your dress. You're so excited about how it turned out. Nice. Is this the feathery one? Yeah, right. You are a maniac, Terry. Okay. Where's that spot that didn't look good? Right here. It's passable. But, you know. Just a paper, just a pattern. And your hand is tired. You might want to just look at some alternatives for cutting for hand issues. What if you could get an electric rotary knife, although that thing's like holding a squirrel with a blade. So I'm just gonna say I couldn't do it. Like, whoo. Oh, this is cute and cozy. I was thinking, could we add one of these little loops to the kids one? You know? Yeah, exactly. Some ergonomic scissors. All right, so let's take a little length of this that looks nice on both sides because we know I had a little sewing hiccup. Oh, we can keep the rest of that. The end never looks that great, so get rid of that. The edges aren't serged though. So what if I could just enclose them, you know, like this and then enclose it like that. Okay, but let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Okay, we got this. We're gonna sew it barely in there. Barely on there. Oh, I turned off the, oh no, I didn't turn off the machine. Okay. Barely onto the seam allowance first. Okay. And then this side. Oi, that wasn't enough. That was too barely. Too barely. Okay. Right there. Okay. Try harding, sorry. Hooks are nice, especially for bulky things, because they want to bounce off of anything you hang them on, you know what I mean? Because the thickness of these fleeces will prevent them from staying on a hook sometimes. All right. No label, yeah. I just feel like, I don't know. Well, let's look and see if we have something cute for these. But yeah, I just didn't want to put my label on there. Not about me. Okay. See, now that we have a little loop there. Okay. I'll look in my labels. I wouldn't mind getting using some. It's a little late, but they're all very home sewing-ish. You know, this one says I'm probably thinking about sewing. We're not gonna put that one on there. This one has a sewing machine. I make my own clothes. Parts. Oh, this is for the binding attachment. Made with love. can't stop, won't stop. Yay! I mean, yay would be cute. Yay could be cute. And then these are all kind of scratchy, I feel like. Party dress, nailed it, fabulous, proud as punch, dream it, make it. Make. Okay, so I think the two yays. So we could do that. Matching yays. Can we get them on here and make them look finished though? Because they're not overlocked, you know? I could overlock the edge and then attach it, but it'd be separate too. I could also do the same thing I just did with that. Yay! We're tooting the label box. Yes, we are tooting the label box. We didn't want it to look home sew. Well, now it's about to because I am putting this on after the fact. Boy, I barely caught that on there. Pull it straight down. Man, I just hopped to whatever Libby says, right? Okay. Yeah? Can you have a nosy at more stuff? I could show you my sewing cart. What do you think of that? The thing I'm always reaching behind to. Show you that. Oh, how am I going to put this one on? Should we just try and take the stitching out right there? That's not for the faint of heart there. I got it. It's okay, Livy. I think it's almost like trying to make it not look home sew. Just so I feel like, so people don't feel like, I don't know. It's a complicated topic, you know. But then not putting any label in there also makes it look kind of homemade. But all those others were just so like, you know, yay sewing. And I mean, yay sewing, right? Am I right? Okay. We'll stick this in here. We're never going to get this in here as nice as we did before, though. You know that, right? You know that, right? Okay. It looks good right now. Let's see. Also size. My mouse is so huge right now. Size is not in. Yeah, that's true. I think I'm just going to enclose something that explains the size. I sort of do wish I had some size labels, but you have to buy so many to do that, like on Waywack or something. Okay, so we're just going to hopefully catch the whole area. All right. Okay, do a little dance at the full moon. Okay, I mean, it's okay. We've got a little bit of back tracking there, 2 rows. Get rid of this. The yay is a little bit cockeyed. Let's get rid of these stitches here. All right, we'll fluff it up. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Okay. What can we say? It's homemade. Oh, at Expo? Oh, that's true, Kathleen. Ooh, I can't wait to shop there. These are for the Pine Ridge Reservation. We're donating to First Families now, and they're going to go to Pine Ridge Reservation. A viewer sponsored all these projects this month. So, okay. So let me show you the fabric. So we're done. This is cute. I think I need to put this one on my form now, right? Let me go get that fabric and show it to you guys because I'd like some suggestions. There is a pattern chatter this Friday. Maybe I'll see something there. I haven't bought but one pattern this whole year. I'm going back to get the little tag. I cut it off. Here it is. Okay, because I washed it. Oops. Oops. Oof, it's kind of dark. We had to dim it really low for this ice blue, didn't we? Let's see, let's put this up brighter. So I've got this, it's like a knit, it's a heathered knit, right? This is the wrong side, this is the right side. So it's a thin knit, kind of like a thin sweater knit. So it says Melange Knit Berry. That's what it says. It's almost 2 yards. It's 1.9 meters. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. Gosh, that's crazy. I guess I got to do that. Where is it at? So yeah, so I need some ideas on what to sew. I want to do this soon. But I was thinking, it's thin. Like I said, it's thin. It'd be kind of fun to do like a garment, not just a little cardigan, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's not like soft. It feels like if you were to wear a jersey, right? But it's definitely more like a sweater. Those are live stitches right there. So it's not that it's rough. It's just not like, it's not like polar fleece, right? Oh, a Henley. Maybe. That could be nice, actually. Yeah, I think I like this color. That's what I was thinking, Suzanne. Some sort of like 2 yards. And it's wide. I think it's wide. Yeah, this is folded. So that's probably 56 inches wide, at least. So think about that, okay? And then let's go tooting in my drawer here, my cart. Let's see if I can move the camera around. All right, so I have this 3-tiered cart. This is my cart. It's 3 tiers. There's one down here at the bottom. So on my top, this is what I sew with right here. This is what you want, Julie. So my labels go right here, and this is a child food container, child snack container. I have a box of spare pins because, you know, you never know when you're gonna run out. Safety pins. These are my clips. This is usually sitting up like this somewhere in here. This is the tape I really like using. I recently took stuff out of this cart. I kind of consolidated, so I have more space now in here. So this is these are personal things right here. So this is like my eyeglass cleaner and lip stuff, Band-Aids, stuff like that, a nail file. And then this is to clean a machine. It was from something else, and so I saved it. And like airbrushes out of this, and I never use it, but it's cool. Got some clover binding attachments because I don't know where else to put them. My eraser and pencil, and there's a spare seam ripper right there. I don't know why that's there. Washi tape and glue, because you never know when you need it. And then here's some extra Choco liners and one more eraser. Back here, I have the double pins that I just didn't really end up using. We're tooting now, yeah. This right here is the hump jumper I got, and I honestly I'm not really good at using it. This is the elastic threaders. I just kind of keep things, because I don't use them very often, right? Keep them close. I'm getting like a tickle. Gum, that's usually my personal thing, but it fit better over here. Some more, the magic pins. My first bottle of Fray Check, and I still haven't opened it, but I get things. These are just spare flashcards from when Cricket used to like flashcards for studying, and I use them to make things like this. So before the stream, I will write the directions for the garment like this, and then I have a magnet right here. I put it right here. And I sometimes do, night Libby, thanks for stopping by. I do this even when I'm not sewing with you guys, like if I'm watching a movie and sewing, I will put up the directions there. So, and I just keep some of the ones I've used back here still, like certain things that I don't do very often, but usually I will put them, like here's the camp shirt, when I recorded the camp shirt color video, usually I take these and I put them in with their pattern. And then there's just some paper here, and this is my seam gauge packages here, but it's not back here. It used to be right there, but it's not anymore. And then there's those side threading needles that I don't recommend right here. And then these are the pack of needles I bought probably 30 years ago, and I still have it, and they're too tiny. And these are needles that was in someone's sewing kit who passed away, and they're really cool because you have the curved, like those, they call them mattress needles. Oh, sorry, you can't see. So, yeah, so fur coats, look at that. Chairs, sofas, carpets, heavy work, fur coats, gloves, leather, tents, decks, sacks, bags, and hampers. So heavy duty needles, this is handy. And then over here, oh, this is my to-go sewing kit. So every time I finish a garment here and I have to sew buttons on at home, this is what I put the thread in. I bought a thimble recently, and this was in someone's, I don't know, kit or whatever. And I just take this home with me, and that's what I use to hand sew it. And then right here, I have the scissors that, the hemostat scissors that Aisha sent me for doing invisible zippers. This is the wefty needle thing that Mr. Domestic is always talking about when you know how he weaves the binding strips? That's what he uses, this thing right here. This is a scalpel. I will never use this for seam ripping. I hate it. This is something I got in the Fabric Godmother box, and it's like also a way to cut threads. It's like a safety razor. Tweezers, and then just some pins. That's about it. A spare pair of those scissors that has a nick in it, actually. So that's my whole top tear. And then right here, I have a little magnetic basket. And this is what I keep my marking utensils. Usually they don't fall over like that, because I don't usually put this one in here. And so, where's my blue one? Right here. So these are usually here. This is not either, it's there. I have one dry erase, and these are all marking utensils. And I always put this one here because it can break. The lead can break, right? This is a seam fix, so I use the tip to pull threads out. But this was from a dry erase board and has magnets, and I find it really handy to just have it on here. And then right here I have my feet magnetized as well. Yeah, this was just from a dry erase board, you know, like to put pins in, and I just stole it for that. The washi tape, I usually use washi tape when I want a guide on my bed of my machine and I don't want to mark, because I used to use a Sharpie. So if you saw my old machine, it was just lines, Sharpie lines. So I use washi tape for that. Oh, there you go, Aisha. That's everyone's party favor. Okay, and then below, let's see if I can pull down my camera here. There's 2 more tiers. This one here, I put my button thing in here recently. So here's my button box. These are all my buttons. And then I also have this thing. This is a yarn ball holder for knitting, but I use it for holding binding for my regular machine, and I use it on my cover stitch machine. And then the other thing in here is just like some scrap fabric, my spare labels, my manual for my machine, and then these are all my serger and cover stitch tools that I just have them sitting right here. And then I have like a little sample fabric there for that. And then here's some more serger tools. I'm not very formal when it comes to this. This is like a Warby Parker box, you know, like I use used stuff just like everybody. Down at the bottom here, you've probably seen me pull from here in workshop. This is where I keep the dry erase board with all my little pattern pieces on it for giving you guys demos and like when you ask questions and need help. And then under that are all the binding attachments and the instruction sheet. So all the binding attachments, there's 3. So I don't usually use these things on the bottom very often. And then this right here is something I've also had for a really long time. Oh, I have the dry erase markers and a sharpening stone for scissors under there. And then this right here are bias bars. So these are really interesting. So what you do is you make like a tube with bias or something. You can do different widths. There's 3 different widths. And then you iron the tube flat. You don't actually sew and turn it right side out. You just leave the seam at the back. And then you can use these flat pieces to make Celtic knots and things like that. And you put the little bar inside to iron it flat. See? This is a very old package, but this thing's really cool and I've had a lot of fun with it before. So it's definitely a novelty thing. So that's my whole cart. It's an IKEA Raskog. It's really sturdy, I love it. Yeah, it sounds like you're really practical, Anne. Mine too. Mine's not very pretty. People walk in, they're like, oh. But I've always had like factory style rooms too. Someday maybe I'll have a really pretty sewing room, but I don't really care. I just want it to be useful. So I use a lot of industrial shelving and solid stuff. I don't like things wiggling. You know what I mean? So like that whole closet thing that people fold up, I'm like, what do they do with the other 85% of their stuff? You know, I will say I have a lot of stuff in here and I'm very tidy. Like I will admit that everything has a spot. I am not a germaphobe. I'm not a clean person like that. Like I'm not constantly wiping things and vacuuming, but everything, you ask me where it's at, I know exactly where to go. And if I can't find it, I'm a little annoyed because I usually know. My garage right now is kind of crazy because Maggie passed away in January and then Cricket moved back home within like 2 months. So usually the garage is really organized and right now it just looks like 2 people moved in and they never unpacked. It's not bad, but I haven't been able to park in the garage since Cricket moved back and I've just let it go. I'm not worrying about it because she's moving soon. So. Right, Terry? Yeah, I know. I think it's cool. Like I would like that at home if I wanted like a small sewing space at home. That would be nice, you know? But here, it's all, you know, I could give you a tour of here, but I've posted tours and they're pretty out of date now. Yeah, right, Suzanne? Because you can just kind of drag that wherever you go. You know, like I just pull that thing. It rolls really nice. The IKEA Raskog, Raskog. It even has its own hashtag. And there's lookalike ones that they make now, like they sell at Michael's and places like that, with like mounted things to put sewing things on. But I think they're just, honestly, just think of if you can put everything you need all the time in the very top, that's key. The other two, I hardly use the other two shelves. You can go to World Market and I have like carts everywhere. And it's funny because when Rayanne and I sewed, I would stage the cart. The cart would have all the things in it. And I would just be like, here's your cart. We had 3 carts, so. And he just dumped stuff. Yeah, exactly. What's the scruff? Yeah, we like that. That's cute. Tramp, untidy, messy. Oh my goodness. I think we kind of knew the sentiment behind it. That's funny. All right, well, we did it. We got all these things. I'm going to try and make a few pairs of pants and maybe some other things with the leftover fleece, and then I'm going to send these off. And I'll let you guys know when I do that. Well, I'll post a receipt of some sort. I don't know if they'll send me one, but I'll definitely let you guys know when it's off. I got to decide if I'm going to fix this little edge. I think I should. I don't want it to get caught on something. You can tell right there it ended, right there and right here. It's just this little section. I can just take this out and restitch that. That'll be no problem. Here, yeah, I have to. Look at that. So cool, yeah, and I'm gonna look for a hotel. Shoot, I can't believe I didn't think about that. All right, well, have a good weekend, you guys. You'll probably hear from me next week for something, and I don't have anything scheduled next month, but I'm thinking about doing either this red or a hearts project, either a project for hearts or this. I'm only going to probably do one project next month because the others I'm going to devote to maybe some fitting live streams. So, oh, nice, Terry. Yeah, I'm eager to hear what you make with it, like what you decide to go with and how you do it. There's lots of options. Thanks, you guys, and thanks to the viewer who donated this. This was very generous, very fun. So, me too. I love this space. All right, you guys, have a good weekend.